This is Cobalt Dragoon, and in this video I'm going to be testing out and seeing whether or not the BX34 is worth the purchase. Let the unboxing begin. Let's take a quick look at the outside of the box. We have the Beyblade and the launcher. It is the BX34 Cobalt Dragoon 260 Cyclone. It is owned by Ryugu in the anime. Oh my gosh, the first left spinning Beyblade in Beyblade X. Here are the stats right here. I'm not going to give you too long of a look, it'd be spoiling the surprise on the inside. Right, let's get this bad boy open. This is the skill up guide that shows the silhouette for the brand new Phoenix Rudder deck set. Before we take a look at Cobalt Dragoon, we're going to take a quick look at the Beyblade X String Launcher L. It is in this light blue with a white on the handle, and as you can see, we've got white prongs and this black kind of tertiary color to it. Now if I compare it to the right string launcher, you can see the left and the right do have minor differences in shape and a few minor details. One very big difference between the launcher hooks of both launchers is that the blue left spin string launcher has a bunch of L's on it, indicating that it's a left spinning launcher. Tomy really doesn't want us to get confused on this. They're giving us so many reminders. It's not like they have R for this. The launcher hooks are facing in opposite directions. Now if I compare the length of the string with both launchers, they are almost exactly, if not exactly the same length. So you're going to be able to get the same power out of either your left or your right. They're the same. These are all of the parts of the Beyblade, so let's take a closer look at each of them one by one. The first part that I want to look over is the Cyclone bit. Who would have guessed it? This bit is actually a cameo to the first ever left spin Beyblade for Beyblade Burst, Lost Longinus, and its spiral driver. As you can see, both of the tips of these parts have this exact same star-shaped design in it. This star-shaped design is equipped with these points, so it digs in with the stadium when it's spinning in this direction. This is counterclockwise spin, but if it spins clockwise, as you can see, the more rounded parts would be digging into the stadium. It has the regular amount of gears, but it does have the cylindrical covering, meaning it has higher burst resistance than bays without it. Working our way up, we have the 260 ratchet. This is a ratchet with 6mm height and 2 ginormous sides. Gosh, these points are protruding out so much. I just want to show you guys how much they're protruding out. This is the 460 ratchet. As you can see, it has 4 points that protrude out of the ratchet. And this is a 260. Look at that. Look at the difference. It's like 2 times. You can't. Oh my gosh, this is dangerous. I mean, guys, we all knew 460 was bad, but this is on a whole new level. I don't even have to be an expert in ratchets to know this is probably not going to be the best ratchet to use. But there is a thing I wanted to go over. Here, you could compare the contact points between the right side and the left side. The right side is the part exposed when it's in counterclockwise spin, and this side is the part exposed when it is in clockwise spin. Having it in clockwise spin actually might be a better idea than having it in counterclockwise spin, just because the exposure from this side is a whole lot less than the exposure from this side. There are also these little humps that make it more likely for it to burst if a Beyblade were to be caught on it. One more comparison, taking a look at the 260 on Cobalt Dragoon, it's pre-evolution Cobalt Drake. You can see that the red plastic on Cobalt Drake's ratchet has this sparkle glitter inside of it that the 260 on this one doesn't, which is actually kind of disappointing for an evolution. But the color scheme is almost exactly the same, with this ratchet being slightly darker than this ratchet. This is the blade for Cobalt Dragoon, and it has many features. For example, it is a 4-bladed attack type blade, and it's the only counterclockwise blade that we have so far. The only one that we know of coming out is actually Dragoon Storm, coming out in the anniversary set in 2025, so that's going to be a long wait for another counterclockwise spinning bay. I think we might get one beforehand, but moving on. There are a lot of asymmetrical things about this Beyblade. For example, if you can see these blue plastic pieces, they are on the top and not on the bottom. If I flip this over, then you can see these 4 blades. Each of these 4 blades have a different amount of metal weighing it. So it's an off-balance Beyblade. I think Tomy wanted to nerf the design a little bit, because if it was completely weight distributed, then it might actually perform a little better in my opinion. Or this might be so that off-balance means more attack. There are a lot of other asymmetrical things about this Beyblade. That's just what I've found. The prongs have the Team Pendragon, which is these 2 stripes. Here is the gear bit chip for Dragoon. It looks insane. The dragon is on fire, guys. And you could see the Bakuten shoot reference on its neck right there. That diamond shape. It actually correlates to the Bakuten logo, which is really cool that they're having these Beyblade X Beyblades referencing previous Beyblade generations. They're giving respect to the old generations. I love it so much. And it's just like, you could find all these different Easter eggs in its design. There are also these little hooks on the inside of the Beyblade, but as you can see, there are only 3. And the 4th one is actually blocked off by the prong, so there is no hook there. This is what the full Beyblade combo looks like. And dude, this looks so sick. But I can't help but notice that the ratchet just like sticks up straight out of the blade. Like it pops straight up. It looks like a giant target. Man, I don't know if this is going to do well in battle or not. But I do know that I have a side-by-side comparison of the Drake Beyblades. Oh, they're not exactly Drake Bays, I'd say. Honestly, I thought the evolution was going to be called Drake something or something Drake, but it ended up keeping the word Cobalt. I guess it makes sense. They're both blue. But I had really wanted Cobalt Dragoon to also have this coat of paint. This metal coat looks so cool on Cobalt Drake. So the fact that Cobalt Dragoon doesn't kind of makes me feel like this looks like the upgrade. This looks like the upgrade to Cobalt Dragoon. Like, this should have came first, and this should have came second. But if you think about it, the parts definitely more complex on this one. And this is the first counterclockwise spinning Beyblade, so they have their pluses and minuses. So it is with Beyblade X and their sidestep evolutions. I don't know why they don't just call them evolutions. I feel like we need to go back to that. And what kind of Beyblade unboxing would it be if I didn't weigh out these parts? So let's take the bit for Cobalt Dragoon. It is 2.1, oh, changed on me, 2.09 grams, 260, 6.28, and what you guys have been waiting for, Cobalt Dragoon, 37.90. Guys, big W. Oh my gosh, Cobalt Dragoon, that is amazing. That's almost 38 grams. I think that's just as much as Cobalt Drake. Let's see if that is accurate. Cobalt Drake, can you beat 37.9? 37.8. 37.9, guys. Metal coat doesn't stand a chance against Cobalt Dragoon. This boy's a heavyweight. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I can't even believe that Cobalt Dragoon's blade weighs more than Cobalt Drake. Now, guys, let's test out the full combos for Cobalt Dragoon and Cobalt Drake. Dragoon weighs 46.28 grams. That is crazy. That is so crazy. Oh, 46.33. Cobalt Drake. It's extra parts make it heavier. I blame Cyclone. I mean, look how much. Yeah, that's not big of a difference, but the blade is heavier, so I'm happy about that. Okay, everyone, so we've opened the box, we've reviewed the parts, and we weighed the Beyblade, but now we're going to be battling this Beyblade up against a bunch of random Beyblades to see how it performs in battle. Let's see how it does in a type disadvantage up against the Beyblade Night Shield. But before we do that, if you're enjoying this video, stop what you're doing right now and like the video. It goes a long way. And if you want to, you can subscribe to the channel so you guys don't miss out on any new content that I make. Like this. Alright, let's get to the battles. Since I don't have anyone with me, I'm going to be launching Beyblades by myself, but that means I'm going to have to actually use 2 separate launchers to launch these Beyblades. So I can't just launch one Beyblade back to back. I have to launch one, put the launcher down, and then launch the second one. So that's actually going to get pretty agitating. Takara, Tomy, if you're watching, make a dual string launcher right now. Now! 3, 2, 1. Go shoot! Instant knockout! That was so quick. Okay, since it was quick, I'll just do another one. 3, 2, 1. Go shoot! It's moving. Oh no! I was just about to say it's moving counterclockwise, but man, it's 1 for 1 right now. 3, 2, 1. Go shoot! Take him out! Take him out, Dragoon! Don't make yourself look bad in front of all these people. Okay, we're reaching endgame. Let's see if we can equalize. No, it can't. It lost steam at the end. So I guess Night Shield takes that. It did have the type advantage though. For the next type matchup, I say we go with balance, and my choice is Hell's Chain. So we're gonna see if Cobalt Dragoon can take out this tanky balance type. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Huge hits on contact. Oh, it got stuck. Hell's Chain kept it stuck up here on the extreme line. And then it popped out. At least it wasn't for an overfinish. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Almost a quick knockout right there. Oh, getting a good barrage attack in, but there it is. It's losing balance. Up, it's back. It's back on its feet. But it does go down. Doesn't really have any life after death. One more. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Oh, quick extreme. And going in for 2 more. Oh my gosh. Man, this guy really loves riding on the extreme line. That was sick. Let's see how Cobalt Dragoon fares up against another heavyweight attack type, Phoenix Wing. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! When they hit the stadium, both of those guys are super loud. And there it is. There's our first burst. You know, it's actually taken a little long for it to burst. Lasted longer than I expected. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Phoenix just jumped straight over Cobalt. That was crazy. It missed the extreme knockout. Oh, but it's jumping around, losing all of its stamina. Keep going, Dragoon. Who's gonna fall over first? Looks like it's gonna be Dragoon. Oh, I think either Phoenix won that or it was a draw. Either way, that was a totally crazy battle. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Extreme knockout! And then it just scraped on its side all the way into the over pocket. Okay everyone, now it's time for the boss battle, where I'm going to be putting Wizard Rod, the UX Bay, up against BX Cobalt Dragoon. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Missed the extreme right at the beginning. Going for another one, missed it again. But it didn't need it! One hit and it was over! It just kept going around. Ow! I dropped Wizard Rod on my foot. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! They met each other on the extreme line. This is what I love about counterclockwise spinning bays. They're gonna meet each other going super fast on the extreme line. And the hits are gonna be crazy. But, here, yeah, guys, no stamina. That off-balance thing I mentioned before, definitely having an impact. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! It almost killed itself. I mean, this is like the 4th time. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Cyclone bit, because it just keeps, like, falling over. I can't really get any good attacks in with it. Could just be how I'm launching. I would love to know if anyone has, like, a secret strategy for Cyclone. Because this definitely didn't work. One final battle. All or nothing. 3, 2, 1. Go shoot! Let's go! Let's go, guys! Oh my gosh. Look. It's just disc balls spinning inside of the pocket. That was hilarious. It can just spin freely on its own. That's so funny. That is going to be wrapping up this unboxing and review of the Cobalt Dragoon String Launcher Starter. But, guys, stick around because I have some thoughts, tips, and my final review for this entire package. So, starting off, I'd just like to point out, if you have left spin and right spin parts that you'd like to use and customize interchangeably, you're going to need to learn how to switch their modes. What I mean by modes is you can see here on each ratchet, there are arrows pointing to the spin direction on the ratchet. Let's take a closer look at this one, 260. You can see an arrow at the top of this plastic part that aligns with an arrow down on this white plastic piece. And you can see an L and an R. L stands for left and R stands for right. So the arrows lining up means that this ratchet is in left spin mode, and this 460, you can see that R is the one that the arrows are aligning with. So all you need to do is click it back by pulling on the white prong and sliding it back and forth like this. And now the arrow is pointing left. So you could take this ratchet and you could put it on a left spin blade. And then you just put your bit in accordingly. That is how you change the mode of your ratchet so that it can fit on different Beyblades. It looks pretty cool when you switch up the parts for these two Beyblades. Another tip that I have, and actually this is more of like a fun fact, Cobalt Dragoon is not the only Beyblade compatible with a left string launcher, or any left spin launcher for that matter. Hell's Hammer, a UX Beyblade that came out as the protagonist's Beyblade from Team Persona. This Beyblade actually has 3 metal prongs that have holes in it that actually allow for the prongs on a launcher. It allows it to fit and perfectly launch off of the launcher. So you can have a left spin balance type, which makes this the first ever dual spin Beyblade, which is kinda weird. This was completely unintentional from Takara Tomy, so it's pretty cool to see that we can actually launch this in counterclockwise rotation. Here we are at the final review where I give my input and the factors that lead to whether or not you should or should not buy this Beyblade. But first, let's take a look at the factors. First, is this Beyblade really fun to use? Yes, it is. Being a counterclockwise spinning Beyblade, it is enjoyable to see clockwise and counterclockwise bays hitting each other in the stadium. It rode the extreme line several times and collided mid-extreme, which I find super insane. Super insane battles, so you're going to get some crazy battles with this guy. Next up is the convenience. Takara Tomy was thoughtful enough to lend us a left string launcher. If we had not gotten a launcher with this Beyblade, we would have no way to launch it. They could have sold the launcher and the Beyblade separately, and honestly, that would have been a dirty move from Takara Tomy. So I'm happy that they included these two in a bundle so that with the first left spin Beyblade, you can get the first left spin launcher. Now here's the question. Does this Beyblade have any competitive value? Yes, it does. The parts, maybe the ratchet and the bit are exceptions, but the blade, definitely competitive. It hit top 3 heaviest blades, so honestly, this is a heavyweight. The attacks are insane on this guy. Since it weighs so much, it just packs so big of a punch, and its off-balance weight distribution makes it even crazier of an attack type. Burst resistance was not great on this guy, seeing as it is supposed to be counterclockwise spinning Beyblade, which means it should be harder to burst, but it still bursts pretty easily in the battles. 260 is definitely not reliable in terms of burst resistance. Cyclone bit does have the cylindrical covering. That means it has higher burst resistance. It is an attack bit, so that makes sense. Aesthetically, if we compare this to Cobalt Drake, I like Cobalt Drake more. The blue paint is gorgeous on this Beyblade, and I know it would have scratched on Cobalt Dragoon, but I think it's worth it to have your Beyblade just look so clean and polished off. I think the main thing that I think is lacking from Cobalt Dragoon is the dragon heads from Cobalt Drake. I wanted them to keep the dragon heads on Cobalt Drake and just put them on Cobalt Dragoon. Cobalt Dragoon just has these 4 blades with nothing really on it. There's nothing to add to the design for these blades. So it kind of just looks like a more basic version of Cobalt Drake. If you had told anybody and asked them, which one do you think is the evolution? Or which one do you think comes after? I'm pretty darn sure people will go with Cobalt Drake. Despite the terms aesthetically, it still has the Bakutin shoot reference, so I can appreciate that. And collectively, with all the other factors in mind, should you buy this Beyblade? Yes, you definitely should. I recommend this Beyblade to you guys. First left spin bay, insane battles, pretty good aesthetics, and the parts are really fun to use. Cyclone is a pretty fun bit. For customization, change out that 260, change it out, replace it with something else. Probably the worst ratchet in the game in my opinion if I had to guess, or one of the worst at least. That is it for this review. I am rating it 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe.